This is the neck and shoulder OMT exam. I'm going to start by doing a seated screen on the patient. And he does have an area of restriction here on this right side from about T4 down to T8. So I will localize the segment. Go ahead and touch your chin to your chest. And raise your head back up. And lean your head back. Okay. So here at T8, he is flexed, side bent right, and rotated right. In order to treat the patient, I would use muscle energy by having him cross his hands over his chest. And then I would monitor that segment, and I would flex the patient a little bit, and also rotate him to the right and side bend him to the right. And then I would ask him to sit back up against my force, and we would do that for 3 to 5 seconds and repeat 3 to 5 times. To explain this to the patient, I would tell him that there is an area on the right side of his back that feels very tight and restricted. In order to try to help things to move more freely, I'm going to help you move your body into a position, and then I want you to push back against my force. And we'll do that 3 to 5 seconds for 3 to 5 times. And then I would reassess by performing a seated screen on both sides. And then next we're going to assess the AC joints by placing my thumbs over the spines, and then we'll spring each shoulder. And he is restricted here on the left side. So the left, when you compare the heights, the left AC joint is elevated. So I would treat the patient with muscle energy by having him stick his left arm out to the side with his palms facing up. And then I would bring my knee up to the table to support his arm. And then I would have him push down against my hand for 3 to 5 seconds. And then each time raising his arm up a little bit higher and asking him to do the same thing by pushing down. And then we would explain this to the patient by saying that the shoulder seems not to move as well. In order to relieve some of that restriction, I'm going to perform a technique called muscle energy, where I will move your arm and then I'll ask you to push down, matching my force for 3 to 5 seconds, and repeat that 3 times. And then we would reassess by springing both shoulders. And we're looking for this left shoulder to move more freely. And then finally I'll have the patient turn around and face me, sitting up, and I'll come behind him, and now we'll look at the SC joint. So I'll palpate the SC joint, and then I'm going to ask him to slowly shrug his shoulders. One more time. Okay, so this left side here seems to be restricted, and then when you compare the heights, this SC joint here on the left side is more superior. So in order to treat him, I would take this left arm here and have him flex the elbow, and we would treat with muscle energy by moving his arm into extension and then asking him to punch forward. And we would do that for 3 to 5 seconds and repeat 3 to 5 times. And to explain this to him, I would say that you have a joint here on the left side that seems not to move as well, and it's a little bit higher than the other one. So we treat you with a technique called muscle energy, and all we have to do is I will position force and push back for 3 to 5 seconds, and we'll repeat that 3 to 5 times. And I'll reassess by finding the SC joints here again and having him to slowly shrug his shoulders. And we're looking for that joint to move more freely. So ideally the SC joint on the left side will dip down instead of being stuck.